Congratulations.
A free press is crucial to a free society.
Well, there's often shredding. We do that a lot.
The evening was put on by the Fountain Theater, a Hollywood landmark known for its cutting-edge plays, and the Society for Professional Journalists, with help from council member Mitch O'Farrell's office.
And we at the Fountain Theater believe that we tell truths and change lives with our art.
I thought it was the most socially relevant piece that I've seen in many years.
It was a real cheer celebrating the press, the freedom of the press and the work of reporters in finding truth.
And because two reporters dug out the story which led to President Nixon resigning, we now have a historic lesson of power and corruption at the highest levels, one that would never have come out without a free press and freedom of speech. I'm Anna Margos for LA This Week.
Among the cast members who took part in the reading were Ed Begley Jr., Joshua Malina, Joe Morton, Jeff Perry, Richard Schiff, and Bradley Whitford. Well, check out some impactful photos that played an important role in civil rights. Puppets come to life during Bob Baker Day and take part in the annual Firecracker Run to benefit the local community. All this in this week's Things to Do. This African American heritage exhibit examines the vital role that visual imagery played in the fight for racial and social equality from the 1940s through the 1970s. For All the World to See traces the emergence of attempts by some African Americans to present a more nuanced and accurate picture of African American life, relying on the power of the camera. The exhibit shows how popular images, sometimes disturbing, sometimes entertaining, and sometimes overtly militant, played a crucial part in promoting important ideas about fairness and advancing civil rights during a key period in America's history. The exhibit runs until March 16th at the Los Angeles Central Library. You are cordially invited to Bob Baker Day 2018, the fourth annual celebration of Bob Baker's ongoing legacy. Let the puppets and the people of Bob Baker Marionette Theater entertain you with sights and sounds of a celebration you'll never forget. The place where imagination dwells spills onto West 1st Street as a whimsical carnival, sponsored by City Council District 1. Enjoy your favorites among an all-day outdoor stage with live music and entertainment, puppet-making workshops with the Los Angeles Guild of Puppetry, carnival midway games, educational and exhibition booths from the local art community, food trucks, walk-around entertainment, and more. With round-the-clock puppet shows and a pop-up puppet museum going on inside the theater, this is one celebration not to be missed. It all takes place Saturday, February 24th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 1345 West 1st Street. It's the Year of the Dog. The LA Chinatown Firecracker Run's annual event brings family and friends to participate in the festivities. The run includes bike rides, a 5K and 10K run walk, and a kiddie run. The event will also include a lighting of the fireworks ceremony, admission to the Firecracker Festival, carnival games, and petting zoo for kiddie run participants. All proceeds and donations go to local elementary schools and nonprofit community organizations providing service and programs to benefit the community. It all takes place February 24th and 25th in Chinatown Central Plaza. For more, visit firecracker10k.org. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacitv.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
I keep the city's computers running and up to date.
I launched a website to 4 million Angelinos.
Our team created a program that pays 48,000 city employees.
I help LA residents access all the city has to offer.
I make TV shows that air on LA City View 35.
I set up a data center in Las Vegas so city systems could keep running in the event of an earthquake.
I survey, install, and service communication towers for thousands of police and firefighters.
I'm building a robot that tests police radios to make sure they're reliable.
And I program Amazon Alexa to help people access city services. Alexa, ask LA City, how do I pay for parking ticket?
For LA City, you can pay your ticket in one of 4 convenient ways.
Hi, I'm Cindy and I'm in Little Tokyo, and you're watching Channel 35, Your City, Your Channel.
Los indios dicen que el río está cerca. We enter a spacious valley, well grown with cottonwoods and alders, among which run a beautiful river. These plain
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. If you could please, if you could please take your seats. I want to welcome you all to City Hall, your Los Angeles City Council. This council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. The public is welcome. Madam Clerk, we don't have a quorum, not just yet, but I think we can begin with the presentation portion of our day. So I'd like to recognize Mr. Marquise Harris Dawson, and the floor is yours, Mr. Harris Dawson, if you would start us off.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're being joined today. I'm very proud to be joined today by our chairperson of the Personnel Department, the inimitable Paul Koretz from District 5. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Yay, Koretz.
I'm very excited to be here today. Folks may have noticed since the time since I've been on the City Council, one of the things we've been emphasizing is the idea that as the city begins to hire more workers so that we can deliver services more quickly and more efficiently to the residents of our city, that we make a point to look in the parts of our city that have problems with unemployment to find new workers. And I was so proud and happy to be here for the opening of the Targeted Local Hire Program, something to put together by this council, the mayor's office, and our city coalition of unions and our personnel department. It took a little bit of pushing and struggling to get the project going, but today, a year after its inception, we're here for a little bit of a check-in and a little bit of a celebration of that program. And we have some folks here that we're very, very excited to present to you, the council, and to the city as a down payment on what I think can be a powerful hiring program for residents of the city of Los Angeles to serve the city of Los Angeles. But before we go forward, I want to call to the mic the leader of this effort, the chair of our personnel committee here for the City Council, Mr. Paul Koretz.
Thank you, Mr. Harris Dawson, for bringing together this wonderful celebration today. This is an important occasion for all of us, and at a time when a lot of folks are falling behind. We have friends and neighbors and residents that are falling through the cracks, some folks that are struggling to find affordable housing, folks that are having trouble making ends meet. This is a wonderful program that provides jobs for a lot of folks that otherwise wouldn't be given the opportunity to the middle class, to enter the middle class job market that the city provides. And this is definitely something to celebrate. As most of us know, the Targeted Local Hire Program is the culmination of a December 2015 agreement between city management and the Coalition of City Unions that committed to, quote, develop innovative workforce development strategies to meet the needs of city residents and stakeholders, strengthen the delivery of city services, and provide career opportunities to local residents. And I'd like to personally thank Jackie Goldberg, the Personnel Department, and the Coalition for their great work in providing the vision and getting this program up and running. As chair of the Personnel and Animal Welfare Committee, we spent quite a bit of time untangling some of the bureaucratic webs that can sometimes be difficult to unwind. As the original motion noted, by 2018, 46% of LA City employees will be eligible for retirement. While the potential impact to city services from this exodus is disconcerting, this situation provides the city with a unique opportunity to impact the city's labor market in a targeted manner by hiring from our city's unemployed and underemployed. So we call on all city departments to participate in the Targeted Local Hire Program. Our city family has stepped up, and it's been my privilege and honor to be part of the gestation of this remarkable program. that is focused on an incredible solution to our needs for job growth. The program is significant too because it is a joint effort between the city and the Coalition of City Unions to work around the city service application process that could not only be daunting, but that could let perfectly qualified candidates fall through the cracks. And by focusing its entry-level hiring efforts on those that are the most disenfranchised and marginalized in society, including formerly incarcerated individuals, former foster youth, formerly homeless, this program is providing an incredible opportunity to not just those seeking jobs, but to the city itself. So we thank Jackie Goldberg and the Coalition and the Personnel Department for the growth of this program in its first year. Despite the soft launch of the program in June of last year with little advertising or marketing and a limited applicant pool, thousands of LA residents who are eligible in one or more of the targeted categories applied, completed the screening processes, and are waiting for their chance to interview for available city positions. We've done a great job on getting a good start, but we still have a long ways to go to reach its potential. And just imagine where this program could take us in a year or 3 years or 5 years. This is a great step for the city and for its residents.
Thank you so much. One more time for Paul Koretz. Now we want to take a moment to hear from a couple folks who've become a part of our city family through the Targeted Local Hire Program. First, I want to bring forward from the Bureau of Street Services, Kimberly Ogwanani. Come on up, Kimberly. Did I get it? No, I didn't.
Let me correct. It's Kimberly Ogwanali, and I represent District Council number 8. I work for the Bureau of Street Services and Personnel Division. Good morning, Council, and good morning to my fellow colleagues. I come here today to say thank you. On behalf of everyone and we have been truly grateful to start a career with the City of LA. As an alumni of a graduate of Cal State University of Fullerton, I found myself graduating in a time where my American dream was no longer a dream due to the economy failing, especially in the job market. After having 12 jobs before this one, I have always told myself that I would like to start a career in human resources. So when I was randomly picked for the Personnel Division, I jumped when the City of LA called me for a position as an office trainee in lieu of administrative clerk. I knew that God had something better for me. Being here has helped me to align my path for my future career. Once I get acclimated in my position, I plan to receive my master's in public administration and HR. Thank you.
All right, Kimberly. And wearing a beautiful hat that I want to get one of, we have from the LA World Airports, Paul Robert Dougherty. There he is.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Mr. President, members of the council. My name's Paul Dougherty, CD10. I'm now a member of the Maintenance Service Division for LAX. These are my street clothes. I work graveyard, so I drove from work here. Anyway, Kimberly's a tough act to follow, but as Marquise has pointed out, keep the door open. I think that that says it all. It's tough out there, and you know, as people get older and the economy shifts and changes, it's discouraging. I saw a flyer for Targeted Local Hire, and about 4.5 months later, I was a employee of the City of Los Angeles. The program is about as streamlined and well thought out as one could hope for. Jackie, there are too many people here to thank, but this has certainly changed my life. normally this would be a 3 or 4 year process, and TLH accomplished it for me in about 4 months, which is amazing. And I'd just like to say thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now we want to hear from our amazing General Manager of Personnel who put this program on the ground and made it real, the place where the rubber meets the road, our own Wendy Macy.
Thank you, Council Members Harris Dawson and Koretz, and thank you for these inspiring stories that we've just heard. I also do want to give a shout out to Council President Wesson's office and Council Member Krikorian's office, who also participated and rolled up their sleeves with the Targeted Local Hire program. This has been a tremendous partnership between with labor and management and all our community-based organizations. It allows the personnel department to do what we love to do most, which is to engage with the community. And I want to reiterate what Councilmember Koretz said about we really want to keep this going. We want to encourage all city departments to use this program as much as possible. We've got many of the participants behind me, and they're loving their city service, and they are making excellent city employees. I also want to thank Matt Szabo and Lisa Salazar in the mayor's office, as well as Robert Steins in EWDD, very critical partners in this endeavor, as well as my staff who work on the Target Local Hire team, Vincent Cordero, Cynthia Ramirez, Maria Koo, Esther Chang, Louis Fernandez. So thank you very much.
All right, and representing so many of our workers in the workplace, representing AFSCME and the City Coalition of Unions, Cheryl Parisi. Let's give her a big round of applause.
This is a really great day, and you know, all of our shout outs really need to go to all of the members who've successfully completed the program and really show when opportunity is given, great things happen. So that's a very, very good day. This program came about through a unique collaboration of community-based organizations, labor, and the city of Los Angeles, who understood that, you know, in the sort of the consequence of the recession was a dearth of city services. And how do we come together to restore city services, to understand that a good job in a community is a fundamental tool of economic development, and to create those opportunities consciously and deliberately for those who have historically been denied or had limited access to good city jobs. And so this program really brings together all of those goals, and it has been enormously successful in terms of the outreach, the collaboration with community-based organizations. We've placed around over 200 employees, but we have thousands left on lists. And so I really strongly want to use this opportunity to encourage each and every city department to understand that this is the way of the future. This is the way in which you're going to build the workforce that responds to service demands and to all of the secession issues that are confronting all of us in City Hall. I want to give a special recognition to the staff of AFSCME and SEIU who've worked tirelessly on this, Teresa Sanchez and Molly Rhodes. In addition, we've had a great great partner in General Manager Wendy Macy. Yes. She has been extraordinary. She embraced the program. She assembled a staff who live and breathe targeted local hire. And I can't tell you how exciting it is to work with the city staff who is so committed to the vision and to effective implementation, as you heard from our candidates. And of course, our great teacher and guide in all of this, the Honorable Jackie Goldberg.
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for your continued leadership and support on this issue. We understand that this program will succeed if departments commit to really hiring, you know, sort of building our city workforce through this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's give them another round of applause.
And now our final speaker, someone who I want to take a second to acknowledge, has been working on this for almost 25 years now. I think the first time I had a sit-down meeting with Councilwoman Jackie Goldberg, it was during the time that President Clinton was doing welfare reform. And we were asking the city to have a welfare to work program so that as new jobs came on, folks that were transitioning off welfare who lived in the city could get access to those jobs. And you were chairing the personnel committee then, and we pushed and we pushed and we made it a little bit of the way. And then some 20 years later, you're still on track, still making the contribution, and still fighting for the cause. The leader of our Targeted Local Hire Committee and the person who's really helped push us forward, our own Councilwoman Jackie Goldberg.
Mr. President and members of the council, it is really with great pride that I say that this program, which each and every one of you has endorsed by voting on the various things that we needed to have happen, you all have been a part of the success of this program, but now all we need are the jobs. I want to just take a moment to remind everybody that the whole goal of this was to establish a new way for people to come into the civil service system. You know, there was some notion that maybe it's passé to be in civil service, it keeps certain people from getting jobs. And our view is that there just needed to be a new method of entering civil service in the city for those who are coming into entry-level jobs. And I will tell you that when I was on the council, I'm going to say something embarrassing here, I was not a fan of the personnel department. Because their answer to everything I was trying to do is, we've never done it that way, or we've always done it that way, or the new one when I came on was, we tried that once and it didn't work. This is a different personnel department. And I have to say that Wendy Macy's leadership is critical to everything that has happened here, as well as the 5 people who she mentioned who volunteered to be the staff to the Targeted Local Hire Program. But also we had enormous help from the EDD department, and Robert Sainz, who is the deputy there, was very important in making sure that we were able to get very good help from all of those centers. We made 9 of the 17 centers applicant centers, and I just want to mention them because they have done yo-person work in transforming this program into a reality by setting up and establishing a methodology of getting people onto the ready-to-be-hired list. Those centers are the UAW Labor Employment and Training Center, South Los Angeles WorkSource Center, Goodwill, Southern California, the Northeast Los Angeles WorkSource Center, Harbor Gateway WorkSource Center, El Proyecto del Barrio, old friends of mine from long ago in Sun Valley, Pacific Asian Consortium in Employment, or PACE, for Downtown and Pico Union Workforce Center, the Jewish Vocational Services in West Los Angeles WorkSource Center, the Coalition for Responsible Community Development, which is the Vernon Central LA Trade Tech College, and LA Trade Tech has been marvelous in being involved with this. Thank you, Larry Frank. And Managed Career Solutions, which is the Hollywood WorkSource Center, and Arbor ENT LLC DBA, boy, can you say all of that, ResCare Workforce Services, which is the Canoga Park and South Valley Services. These folks have processed more than 3,000 applicants, and they are signified as ready to work when they have been processed. Now, how did that happen? Well, we now have more than 30 community-based organizations that are designated as referral centers. These are people who are already working with the population that's targeted. Why invent wheels? We met with, the outreach committee of TLH met with more than 120 targeted organizations, CBOs in the city, of which about 35 have decided to join in and be a part of this gateway into city service. So I'm really here just to say thank you to Mayor Garcetti, to Matt Szabo, To all of the people who are standing behind me, particularly those who are new employees. If you're a new employee under this program, raise your hand now so everybody sees you're here. These folks are doing such a phenomenal job in their positions that departments are telling the personnel department that they are thrilled with the performance of these individuals. So I just really wanted to come up and say thank you. Thank you to everybody who has made this possible. 1 year ago, in February 2017, we had our first hire, and it is now a year later. And that's really why I had asked that we have some recognition of all the people who put this together. I chair the work group. I have no vote. I love that. That's so wonderful. I have no vote. We have not had a single decision between management and labor on that work committee that was not unanimous. Can you imagine? That's right, it's worth applause. Every single step we had to take, everybody found a way to come together and make it happen. I've never seen anything like it. You should be very proud, each and every one of you, that you were a part in making history and putting together a program that reached out to communities in Los Angeles and said, yes, we know you can do the work, we want you here, and we're going to hire you and give you an opportunity to make a middle-class career working for the city of Los Angeles. So I thank each and every one of you on the council and the mayor's office. I particularly thank the individuals here on my left and on my right who have taken personal leadership, as well as Mr. Rue and Mr. Price has come to some of these meetings. So we've had an opportunity to work with a lot of you individually. Mr. Krikorian and the Budget Committee has done a tremendous job in helping us as well. Please, please do whatever you can to encourage all departments to continue hiring these folks and to make this a permanent part of the city of Los Angeles. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you.
Well, thank you, Jackie, and you are absolutely the perfect person to take this on. We're so grateful that you have. I have one extra thing I wanted to say, piggybacking on what Ms. Goldberg just said. There are some departments that have really embraced this program and some that have been slow. And I would say to the ones that are slow, some folks have had concerns. Are these employees going to be as good? But if you ask the departments like LAX, which has probably been the primary embracer of this program, these employees are not just as good, these employees are better. They are grateful for their jobs, they are excited to have their jobs, they are highly motivated, and you will not find any harder workers on our workforce than the people that came through targeted local hire. So the departments that have been slow, get on the stick, join us, and you will benefit, as will so many of our city residents waiting to be employed.
Hey, Paul, why don't you give me a list of the slow ones?
I'm not sure if we should do that.
Later. Again, thank you so much. Another big round of applause for all of our workers and neighbors and brothers and sisters. We've got a lot of love to give out. We're going to go in the back and take some pictures. But again, thank you to the council. Thank you to our Department of Personnel, our chair of the committee, and everybody who's pulled together to make this project a one-year success.
Congratulations, good work. Okay, Madam Clerk, as they are moving in the back, why don't we quickly run through the agenda so we can have our next presentation? If you'd call the roll.
Blumenfield, Bonin, Bluscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Harris Dawson, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rodriguez, Rue, Wesson. 13 members and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Blumenfield moves, Bonin seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
O'Farrell moves, Martinez seconds. Next.
Mr. President, there are requests to receive and file item 1A and G inasmuch as the liens were paid in full. Receive and file item 1C inasmuch as the lien was rescinded. Also, to reduce the lien for 1E to $1,058.16, and to continue this item to March 23rd, 2018, and finally continue 1F to March 23rd, 2018, sir.
Okay, so without objection, so ordered. Ms. Rodriguez, did you? Okay, we'll get there. Continue.
Item number 1 is an item notice for public hearing, and Mr. President, there are cards on this.
Then continue.
Items 2 through 22 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Okay, I don't see any specials, so why don't we prepare to vote on those items? So let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, continue.
Item 23 is an item for which public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, that item is now before us. Ms. Rodriguez? Special, let's hold that item. Continue.
On the continuation agenda, item 24 is an item for which public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, again, so without objection, that item is now before this body.
Mr. President, there are cards on this item.
Okay, then we will continue.
And that brings council to either the special meeting, the general public comment presentations, or items
Well, I
called
think we'll
special.
go back to presentations. I'd like to recognize Mr. Mitch O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. As the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics draw to a close this weekend, I am here to celebrate 2 Los Angeles area Olympians who made history in the sport of pairs figure skating on the world
Mr.
stage.
O'Farrell, let me jump in. Randy, come on. We can't even see you. Yeah.
You mean here?
Yeah,
Okay.
now we got you.
So Randy Gardner and Ty Babylonia.
Let's give them a round of applause. Yeah.
They redefined what it means to, in the sport of pairs figure skating many years ago, and this year they are celebrating their 50 years as a pairs figure skating team. 50 years. Now, let me just give the disclaimer. They were both children when they began, and that's a fact. So I couldn't be more thrilled to bring them here to council to share their glory, their achievements, their accomplishments, and their inspiration with all of you and the city of Los Angeles. We have a very special video. Please roll the tape.
The pair skating champions of the United States, pair skating champions of the world, Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner.
I was introduced to Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner by their first coach Mabel Fairbanks. Just seems like yesterday. Mabel had given them a wonderful foundation in pair skating, although she said at the beginning, the first few months when they were very young, they didn't even want to hold hands. So, of course, teaching pair was a little tricky.
She had to, in the beginning, had to bribe me because I didn't want, holding a boy's hand at 8 years old who you really don't know. And Randy, in school, he would play on the bars, on the jungle gym, and he had blisters, so that didn't help.
I didn't wear any of those gloves or any protection, just maybe chalk, and I'd swing around and do all that stuff. So I'd go to the rink, and my hands would be all blistered up and icky, and she'd go,
We called it, well, you had cooties.
Cooties.
I thought they were a nice couple of kids. I thought they had a little talent. I didn't realize then quite how much talent.
77, we got the bronze medal. 78, we got the bronze medal. 79, we nailed it.
Only one American pair has ever won this championship, Carol and Peter Kennedy in 1950, 29 years ago. This then is a very big moment for American figure skating, and they are the leaders.
And the first of their program, the first 5 or 6 moves are the power moves and the difficult ones. They open first with a throw triple Salchow. There it is. Hey. Beauty, it's lovely.
It was like a dream because everything clicked.
And a throw, double axel. Here it is. Watch him lift her. Nice, nice, nice.
The names we've heard in pairs before have been... This could be a little sporting history. The end of their program.
Here it is, a jet spiral. He has only enough to go off the edge, or she too. And there it is. It is it.
All of a sudden, this young team from Los Angeles, it's like Los Angeles, and who are these kids? We were kids. That's our story. That's 5 decades. That's a 5-decade friendship. And we still have a little glitter up our sleeves. So stay tuned.
Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner first took each other's hand on the ice at the ages of 8 and 10, respectively, in 1968. It was the start of a journey. Babylonia and Gardner were paired by Coach Mabel Fairbanks, the first African-American inducted into the U.S. Figure Skating Hall of Fame for her efforts to break the color barrier in the sport. The pair won their first national title in 1976, and despite struggling with a growth spurt the previous year, Ty Babylonia and Gardner and their coach, John Nix, never wavered. Ty and Randy rose through the ranks of pair skating, and as teenagers earned a coveted spot on their first Olympic team in 1976, bringing with them a winning, uniquely American, youthful exuberance that made them favorites to the crowd in Innsbruck, Austria that year. Ty Babylonia also broke the color barrier herself in the sport of figure skating, being of African, Filipino, and Native American descent. Hopi Native American. The world had never quite seen a pairs team like Ty and Randy. As you just saw, Babylonia and Gardner won the World Championship title in 1979, best in the world. And remember, this was during the Cold War and the Soviet era of complete dominance in their sport. Heading into the 1980 Olympics, Ty and Randy were heavy favorites for a medal, but unfortunately were forced to withdraw due to injury. But their partnership has had a silver lining. As it turns out, their popularity only increased after their Olympic careers because of their tremendous popularity around the world. Ty and Randy's post-Olympic professional career took them to every corner of the globe, headlining shows, tours, and competitions. And now, colleagues, I would like to offer a token of gratitude and recognition to these two trailblazing and inspirational athletes on the ice together for 50 years, for bringing joy to people around the world with their enduring talent and spirit as exhibited through their exceptional artistry. Ty and Randy, these may not be Olympic gold medals, but they are medals from the city of Los Angeles.
Oh, Mitch, thank you. Great. So sweet.
You bet. And now I present to you Ty Babylonia. Okay, Randy's going to start. Randy,
in fact, you know what?
Well, thank you so much. It's so cool to see you guys in person. I see you on TV all the time. Thank you so much, Congressman Farrell and Councilman Bonin, I live in your district, Mar Vista, Marina Del Rey. I like the Venice Boulevard Centinela thing. We'll talk about it, but I know it's a bone of contention with a lot of people. 50 years ago, when we started skating together, I just got a ticket on Vista Del Mar, by the way. I was speeding, but okay, anyway.
That's another story.
That's another thing. 50 years ago, when we started skating together, people would ask, Los Angeles, figure skating, where, what, who? And at that point, we had Culver Ice Rink on Sepulveda, and we had Santa Monica, which I know is not LA, but we had so many rinks there, and so many great coaches came to live in this great city. So the result of that was that this beautiful city and climate and the beautiful rinks there brought great coaching here, which enabled us to do what we did. And both born and raised in Los Angeles, and this is so special, and thank you for supporting us and doing the great work that you do. And he said he waited on us once at a table in Beverly Hills in the 80s when we were all kids. And he said we behaved, which was okay. All right, thank you so much. Here's Ty.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you all to the members of the LA Council, City Council. Thank you, Mitch, for this wonderful acknowledgement. As Randy said, we were born and raised here in Los Angeles. I was born at Kaiser on Sunset. Los Angeles has been so great to us from day one, so supportive. When Randy was injured in Lake Placid at the Olympics in 1980, the love that we got here from home helped to get us through that. You know, it was a rough time when you have to withdraw from something you have trained years and years for, and the family had sacrificed years and years for. LA was right there with us, so thank you, City of Angels. And we've been good to LA. I mean, so I'm going to pat myself on the back, and Randy's. I must thank our friends back here, friends and family. My mom, Cleo Babylonia, is here. Mama. Yes, my mom, Cleo. My brother, Constantio, is here. My son, Scout, who wants to follow in my father's footsteps, who was LAPD for 26 years. So, yes. Wilshire, Rampart, Hollywood. Thank you, Mommy, for all the support. Couldn't do it without my parents. I know my dad's watching. Couldn't do it without Mabel Fairbanks, who Mitch mentioned earlier. It's a true story. She had to bribe me to hold Randy's hand at 8 and 10. He did have cooties. True story. But here we are 50 years later, and I couldn't be more proud of the friendship more than anything. Randy, where are you?
Right here.
So thank you, everyone. This is the best day. Thank you.
You know, Mr. O'Farrell, if I might, you know, I was such a big fan of you and Randy. And in my mind, because of the two of you, that's why I watch figure skating today. And when I accidentally had an opportunity to meet Ty about a couple of years ago, I can't articulate how excited I was to actually say that I know her, and if she saw me walking down the street that she would actually, but now, Randy, that I've had the opportunity to meet you as well, so I want you to know that I'm really excited about that. But when I think about the first African-American woman to really coach the history of all of that, and you breaking the color barrier as yourself, and that we are right in the middle of the Olympics today, and it seems like every time I watch those skaters, I think about the two of you. So for me, this is just an unbelievable excited moment to have both of you here in the Los Angeles City Hall, in our council chambers. Members, they're champions. Let's give our champions a round of applause. Thank you for all you've done for all of us.
So, colleagues, these days, Babylonia and Gardner still work as a team in different capacities. They'll occasionally break out some pair moves like the famous spirals or spread eagles that they're known for, just for fun. Gardner is on the ice several times a week as a coach and choreographer in the LA area, and Babylonia often works with him to help students polish their programs and presentation skills. Babylonia also works as a motivational speaker with Ready, Set, Gold, a mentoring program in Los Angeles middle school and high schools led by former Olympians and Paralympians. Her son, Scout, a 22-year-old whose goal is to become an LAPD officer and, as Ty mentioned, follow in her grandfather's footsteps, whose favorite post was at Hollywood Division. Though both Babylonia and Gardner attribute their commitment to each other as the key to their success, they are clearly grateful for the support of family, friends, coaches, mentors, and Angelenos, as was just mentioned. While forever known as one of America's great pair skating teams, Ty and Randy's 50-year partnership has endured the status of true icons, both on and off the ice. Therefore, colleagues, join me in congratulating Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner on the occasion of their 50th anniversary and for their contribution to the world of figure skating and dedication to our future generations. Your gifts have been immeasurable, and we thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. One for each of you. One for each.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, really? We love, thank you. We are proud Angelenos.
Thank you so much.
Again, congratulations.
Whoops.
As Mr. O'Farrell's breaking the microphone. Mr. Bonin, as they are leaving, and if you would just slow it down for 1 second.
Yeah. Nope, not yet, not yet.
Mr. Bonin.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, colleagues. This morning, I have something that I am absolutely certain is going to make you smile. Mr. Wesson, you are going to smile. The rest of you are going to smile. Mr. Englander is looking around saying Bonin's never made me smile in his life. But I have something today that is going to bring a smile to your face and a smile to your heart. I'm pleased to be joined today by two members of a three-person band from Venice called The Great Escape. On one side of me is Malte Hagermeister. On the other side is Christian Nord. The third member of their band, Ingrid Anderson, is off in Berlin right now. But this is a band from Venice, referred to as a genre-busting, foot-stomping three-piece band. And they had their eponymous title album in 2014. And last summer, about 6 or 7 months ago, they released a video called A Good Day. in Venice Beach. And it is a love letter to the Venice that I fell in love with when I moved there in 1991, a love letter to the Venice that they moved into 13 and 7 years ago, a love letter to a Venice that we're all desperately trying to hold on to as Los Angeles rapidly changes. Before I say anything more, I want to show you their video. Their videos are sort of part documentary and part music video. So if we can go to the videotape.
I get up early, about 6. I sit out here, it's real quiet, peaceful. I have my coffee and give my little prayer and my little thanks and meditate, you know. So I like that.
Oh, you know when it's a good day when you get to swim in the ocean.
Vivir en mi casa.
When you're Venice Beach rollerblading with some babes and loving life, jamming out, shaking your money maker.
Waking up early morning, I never needed much. A dancing beauty, a sleeping beauty.
You know it's a good day when you wake up in the morning and you're around families and friends.
A nice warm sunshine in the morning, just feeling that on my skin.
I love tattoos, and I love to ink my body up.
Crystals and magnets, right here. This is the best gift ever, this moment.
You know when it's a good day, a good day,
Hey, man, that's good.
you know when it's a good day, when the high keeps dipping and rides on a river, you know when it's a good day.
She gets happy when she came home. I got already food for her.
That's made me happy. He cooks my dinner.
New beginning, words I sing to you.
You know when it's a good day when you look around, not only you're smiling, but everyone else around you smiling too.
Rain or snow,
I refuse to let anything get me down. You know it's a good day when you can skate away.
It's what goes on in your brain. It's the way that you talk to yourself.
I wake up running out of bed to go make some art. I just been always happy to wake up and see the ones that love.
If you don't love what you're doing, you need to find something else to do.
I live for love. I try to love what I do. I try to love the people I meet. I try to find the love in the moment. It's beautiful.
you know when it's a good day, a good day, a good day. You know when it's a good day, when you jump for joy like a little school.
I thought money and cars and all the physical things was like important. Don't think that way anymore. Love, like pure love, like someone really genuinely loving you no matter what.
Like a new beginning, words I sing to you.
Me da mi felicidad, mis hijos, mis nietos, toda mi familia. A couple of the organizations that I'm on, I think we're doing good. Helping people.
It's a good day, a good day, a good day.
Ain't no one happier than me. You see the smile? Cheesing all day. Come to the skate park.
Family, friends, that's it. That's what makes everybody happy.
You laughed really loud somewhere public, and people joined you laughing louder than you did.
On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd say I'm pretty much at a 10 for happy.
10 del 10.
I'll see a 9.
9.
I would say 10.
Upper 9 point something.
8, 9 with a little bit of 10 in there.
10. Near 10.
Being clean and sober, 10, of course.
Good, solid 9.
9, 10, 10.
Okay.
Oh man, 11. Elevate. 13 probably.
There's no numbers.
People don't understand that you choose to have a good day or a bad day. That's your choice.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to show that. That is Venice, whether it is the world-famous skate park or Jeton Valentine, one of the matriarchs of Venice from one of the first families in Venice. Bill Attaway, a brilliant sculptor and artist in Venice, or the ballerina clown from the surfers and the skate park to multi-ethnic, diverse families that have lived in Venice to generations, and to little children of newer residents of Venice. That sort of captures the spirit of one of Los Angeles' most amazing communities. So I'm very proud to introduce these guys. I want to note that not only do they do these amazing videos and this incredible music, but they also have a big heart. At the end of this video, one of the folks you see in there is Jasmine, who is from the Lava Mae program, which is the mobile shower program that we brought down here for our homeless residents in downtown and in Venice. And they have a real passion and commitment to homelessness. And their Christmas video, which was Season of Love, the proceeds for that, which are available online on their website, wearethegreatescape.com, or on SoundCloud, go to the St. Joseph Center and their programs helping homeless people on the West Side. So with that, I would like to introduce the guys from The Great Escape.
Thank you so much. Thanks to council members. As two German transplants, we're really honored to be here. It's truly special. And when we moved over, we fell in love with Venice, and we fell in love with its diversity and its positivity. So we wanted to capture that. And thanks so much for I think it is really meant as a love letter, and it means a lot to us to see that some hearts are being touched. And we'll try to keep telling stories about Venice Beach. That's one of our missions, and we try to give back when it comes to homelessness and other challenges. Thank you so much.
You want to say that?
Yeah, I mean, as Malte said, we're both from Germany, and LA was so welcoming and such an amazing soil for being creative and making music. We're fortunate to work with some of our idols that we only read of in Germany. And we're happy to give back, and thank you to the city of LA.
Thank you. So I have a presentation for them. I guess. Yeah. Here, why don't you?
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect. Good. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Yeah. Come on back. We'll take a photo in the back with the city backdrop. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you very much, Mr. Bonin. Congratulations, guys.
Thanks.
Mr. Blumenfield, are you ready for your presentation?
Colleagues, council members, I know we've had a lot of presentations today, but we have a very special one I'd love to get your attention for. This morning, I have the privilege of recognizing an extraordinary young man, Tyler Karach. Tyler is visiting Los Angeles with his mother, Sheena, from his home state in Florida, and he is on a very special mission, a mission to thank every police officer in America for their service to their local communities in a very special way. His efforts started in his home state in August of 2016. It's been going on for a little while. While he was at a local store, he saw 4 deputies, and he asked his mom if he could use his allowance to buy them his favorite treat and their favorite treat, some donuts. And he did. And after he did it, the officers were so excited, and they gave him such a, I'm sure you remember this to this day, gave him such a appreciation. He turned to his mom and said, why are they so happy? It's just donuts. What's going on here? And she explained that in society at that point, there had been a few officers who had done some bad things, and so there were people out there who were being mean to officers around the country, and some of them even wanted to hurt them. But that really, no group is 100% perfect, but most officers are really out there doing their job and are the heroes that we know and love. And it was at that moment that Tyler decided he wanted to do something for the officers. He told his mom that he was going to thank every single officer in America and give them each their favorite treat, a donut. Or he calls them power rings, as many people call them. And he was passionate about this idea. And his parents agreed to help him by starting locally and to see what would happen next. And as we say here in Los Angeles, movie town, we say, cut to 2018. 18 months later, 27 states later, 50,000 donuts later. Tyler. This young man, Tyler Karach, is now known to many as Donut Boy. And he wears a cape to prove it with the donuts on it. Show him your cape, Tyler. It says,
Bring him out here. Can you get closer to the
Donuts,
table
a reason.
so we can see your nice cape. There we go, like a superhero. Here we go.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And so he was so passionate about this idea. He's still doing what he loves doing. He's made it all the way here to the West Coast, to Los Angeles. And I thought, and Officer Sinclair and others were telling us about this, and we thought, we have got to recognize him here for this amazing effort of what he's doing. He arrived here in California just 3 days ago. He's already visited the LAPD headquarters, the Central Traffic Division, Rampart Division. He even got to hang out with Chief Charlie Beck. And between maintaining excellent grades, being part of the student government, keeping up on all the latest Minecraft hacks, and just being a busy 10-year-old, he makes every moment count by serving us daily in this mission. What Tyler will do once he's finished his donut tour, a lot of people have asked him. He says he wants to be a canine officer because he gets to be a cop and he gets to get a dog. Like my son, it's like the same kind of thing. They love the dogs. As of 2008, there were 765,000 sworn officers across the country, local sheriffs, state agencies. So at this rate, by the time Tyler joins the police force, that's about the time he'll finally be able to give a donut to each and every one of them. But we're gonna handle that, aren't we? So you can follow Tyler's mission, and his mission statement is, quote, I do not need a reason to thank a cop. You can follow it on Facebook, and so let's give Tyler a round of applause for reminding us to thank the men and women in blue. And Tyler, before I give you this, I know you want to give the officers here a donut right here in front of. If there's any uniformed officer here wants to come get a donut, come on over.
The members would appreciate one too. I love donuts. Tyler, would you like to say a few words to us?
You want to say anything, Tyler?
Do you want to come to the microphone? Maybe your name, how old you are, anything you want.
Can you go up closer? Can you tell them your name and how old you are?
I'm Tyler and I'm 10 years old.
All right, Tyler. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tyler.
Tyler.
Thank you. And Sheena, thank you so much for making this happen and being with Tyler. This amazing mission is inspiring all of us here, but is inspiring people everywhere, young children, and inspiring people to appreciate the police officers that serve us and protect our lives every day. So Tyler, please accept from all of us here in City Hall this certificate of recognition for Tyler Karach, a.k.a. Donut Boy. Here you go. Take a photo right here. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
officers, take a bite of that donut. Come on. Thank you, Tyler, and congratulations. And to Tyler's mom, thank you very much for being here. Another big round of applause for Tyler.
Okay, let's pull up general public comment. Let's do some general public comment at this time. Mr. Walker Kane, Carly Kirchen, Hugo Soto, Jacqueline Richardson. Please, if I've called your name, Walker Kane, Carly, Hugo, Miss Richardson, are you here? Jacqueline, please come on. And Bill Watkins. Yes, ma'am. Identify yourself.
Hi there, my name is Carly Kirchen. I live in Highland Park here in Los Angeles. When I first moved to LA 3 years ago, it took me a full year to find long-term housing. I had to jump from one sublet to another because housing was so scarce. I remember going to one open house where it was one bedroom that was available in a shared home, and I competed with over 20 people who were there at the same time as me for just one unit. I had to crash on my friends' couches. It was a really bad, challenging time for me. In my final sublet, I was paying extremely high rent, and my car broke down during this time. I had to choose between paying rent and fixing my car, so I chose to go without transportation. Now in my current home, I finally have long-term housing, but as my landlord's doing cosmetic changes to the building, I worry that the rent is going to get hiked up and I'm going to be kicked out again. So please pass the short-term rentals ordinance ASAP to address the housing crisis.
Thank you. Next speaker, please come forward and identify yourself.
Good morning, Council Chamber. This is Hugo Soto. I'm a resident of Los Feliz, and I just want to give the council some statistics about how the housing market has been affected in the last few years. 4,842 short-term rentals have been created in the last few years. And look, and as someone who lives in Los Feliz, I see how this is being affected. More of the apartments around my area, you see these padlocks that are appearing in front of the houses. And that's a very clear sign to me that those places are now no longer being rented, but are now being used for Airbnb. So for the council, I appreciate all the celebrations we're doing, but people are being put out in the streets because of the inaction of this chamber. So please take up the short-term rental ordinance as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, good morning. I have a poem for the public record. It takes 3 minutes to read, so I don't have enough time. I have something for the public record.
We'll pick that up.
Okay.
So just
Thank
begin.
you. So hi everyone. I appreciate you all listening. And
Your name, sir?
Bill Watkins. Still, it's been for 45 years. It's going strong. So I'm cleaning storm drain gutters still, and gutters and sidewalks for free because it needs to get done. Thanks for listening to some of my ideas. And I'm sort of confrontational sometimes, so bear with me. I like some of the ideas I hear. Thank you, Mr. Koretz. It's a really interesting idea, the targeted employment sort of thing. I have not heard of it, so thanks for that this morning. I want to look into that. Thanks for listening to some of my ideas. Day labor stations, I guess, was an idea that came up for me, and I hope we consider that for formerly homeless. They can just step up and work for the day. But my poem will be for you on the record, and I'll put it on my website. Thanks.
Thank you. And Ms. Richardson, before you start, I want to recognize Mr. Koretz. Mr. Koretz. And then also if Alma Romero could come and get in line. I'm still looking for Walker Kane. And Sean, you as well. Yes, Mr. Koretz.
So is this about the special one?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Before us now is my motion concerning the possible need for a haul route for development in the hillsides. And after several recent accidents, we need to be extremely vigilant in these situations. We were hoping the parties could work things out. However, we have just found out that that was not the case. And therefore, since this just came to the attention of the council, I'm asking you for your support for my special one. And I understand that there are speakers, and then I would ask an aye vote for the motion.
Okay, let's vote on the findings. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, we'll hold that on the desk, Mr. Koretz. Ms. Richardson? Go right ahead.
Richardson, there's a rumor out, there's one church who doesn't know about it that they say is being governed by communist Moscow, Russia. If this church knew about it, they would have a fit, would be the 4th of July in February. The membership of this church has continually been gone down, and their attendance has gone down, but more than likely they're not aware of this rumor. If they were, they would have fits. It's a nice church, it's a good church, it's a solid good church, but attendance has been going down for years, and membership has been going down for years. I'm sure if they knew about it, they would be highly irate and feel real bad. And they have a large membership and a headquarters. They say their headquarters is being governed by Communist Russia at their headquarters. I'm sure they're not aware of it.
Thank you. Next speakers, please. Please come and state your name.
Mi nombre es Alma Romero. Yo por 15 años he vivido en la ciudad de Los Ángeles. Tuve que desplazarme de ahí por los altos costos de las viviendas. Y en este momento... Sí. Buenos días, mi nombre es Alma Romero.
My name is Alma Romero.
Por 15 años viví en la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
For 15 years I live in the city of Los Angeles.
Debido al alto costo de las viviendas,
because housing is very expensive,
he tenido que moverme de esta ciudad.
I have to move from this city.
Por hoy tengo que viajar hora y media para mi trabajo.
I have to travel an hour and I have to go to my work.
La situación del alto costo de la renta es crítico.
It is very critical, the situation of high rents.
El próximo mes me toca recibir a mis hijos que los he emigrado a este país.
And the next month I have to bring my kids from, I have migrated them to this country.
Se me ha hecho difícil encontrar una vivienda digna para poderlos recibir.
It is very difficult for me to find a housing that I can receive them.
Espero que puedan hacer algo por nosotros los trabajadores.
I hope you can do something for us, labor workers.
Porque estamos pensando en qué calle nos vamos a ir a instalar.
Because we're thinking right now, where are we moving? This is very difficult for us, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you. Okay, Sean, you have 1 minute on item 1 and 1 minute on your general public comment.
Yes, item 1 is a good item. The housing the rent's got to be lower. There's these damn property owners, they're money hungry. They need to lower the rents. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's get Mr. Previn. Mr. Previn, you have item 1, and you also have item 23 and 24 in general public comment, and special 1 as well.
Thank you, sir. It's Eric Previn from Studio City. I think special 1 has to be counted separately, which I'll go to right now, sir, for 1 minute. The special 1 item is the great Paul Koretz. It unfortunately came to his attention late. So the city attorney and the folks decided best way to deal with his willingness to stand up to the building and safety commissioners who have tried to slam something through without a haul route, but he cleverly, it came to his attention, but it only came to his attention last night, 1 minute before the agenda went out, so, or 24 hours ago. So that's why, now that, I am going to raise the question, is it possible that he did know about it and that this is just another opportunity to downplay activity that the public should be aware of? I will bring that up candidly. Now I'll move on to the regular item 1, where I want to just thank Marquise Harris Dawson for doing such a diligent job of leaning against his constituents. There are 4 separate leans against people in his district, which is, it's robust given the blight in that area and how hard it is for Angelinos all over town. In terms of 23, I have to say to CD7, sir, remember when you were the jefe over there? Now it's Rodriguez. We're gonna extend the shelter appropriately for a month, which is outstanding. And a couple of questions have come up. You know, when we decide to go on a little shopping spree with the city, and we buy up old transportation properties that have toxic ground underneath them for millions and millions of dollars, when we offer 16 million and they say nope, and then we say actually 18 million, like we did at item 26 or 23 last week, for $18.3 million we bought a piece of land from Silmar Foothill LLC. Who are these guys? I Googled it. There's a person named Dana Goodman and Steve Goodman. I don't know who these people are, but they are surrounded by all sorts of LLCs out in Englander's district and all over the place. It looks bad because I don't think the public wants to be spending so much money.
Mr. President,
see
the speaker is
benefit.
not on the agenda item.
Okay, let's get back on the agenda, Mr. Previn.
23, which is the shelters out in CD7. This is right in the heart of CD7, and we are talking about keeping those shelters open. I'm talking about how about we not spend $18 million on a bunch of guys who are on the inside.
Well, let's
Instead,
get back to actual
okay, fine.
item
That's
23.
eminent domain. I'll go back to the item that you want me to talk about, sir. Which one is it again?
No, I don't want you to talk
Oh.
about it. It's you put it down. So you have item 24, Mr. Previn.
Keep your finger off the gas, sir. Hello? Hello? Okay, thank you. Yeah, the Ethics Commission should keep all their records because when Mr. Previn and other members of the public document stuff, we don't want them disposing of them prematurely. And I know that you guys are looking at that because there's always a good opportunity to dispose of records. Now, the bids, and there are multiple bids on this agenda.
Mr. Previn, let's go to your general public comment because that you weren't
Well,
on
was there a
topic.
problem with the bids?
No, let's go, Mr. Previn, general public comment.
All right, well, bids are business improvement districts, and they're intended to help out. But we now have a strong feeling that people who serve on neighborhood councils should not open their pocketbook for their own startup 501c3s. That we don't want. So you could tell that to Krikorian when he gets back. Now, in terms of the HHH item that's on your agenda, are you going to allow public comment on that, sir, the special meeting item? That's a question. Okay, so you're going to not respond. Well, then I'll talk about it now briefly. I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Llewellyn. It is hard. There are a lot of factors at play here, including unusual appraisal assumptions, and he's been batting them away. And we are trying our best, to sort out inappropriate comps. But it raises questions about, like, for example, you got 400-unit hotel you just pinned up on the board. You know, when we try to get affordable housing, we've got 604 units coming up. 537 of which are permanent supportive housing units, or chronic, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's bring up Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have items 1, 23, 24. You can speak to the special and and general public comment. Special 1.
Are we talking about item 25 of the Homelessness and Poverty Committee report?
No, we're not.
Then I'm talking about the liens. Violations at 13750 West Fillmore Street for simply $932.40. Now, I demand the councilwoman to forgive and waive all the interest and compounded penalties against this property owner, as we will hear in her winter shelter in District 7 on item 23. Why is it that we are amending locations and extensions for shelters? The Rolling Stones have a great song, "Give Me Fucking Shelter," so I can get off my fucking feet and walk with my feet not hurting. It hurts me to know that these shelters are only temporary. It dumbfounds me that Jeff Sessions hasn't come here to regulate you stupid white motherfuckers when it comes to HHH.
No, you
bitch.
got to get on topic, Mr. Herman.
About shelters. I can't get any relief or release from my mind if I don't have shelter. So I know what it's like for people who don't want to live under the conditions of a temporary fucked up place called a shelter. So as long as we have shelters, we will have homelessness. You're only scratching the surface of a problem as opposed to fixing the goddamn problem, Mayor Eric Garcetti, you stupid white motherfucker.
Let's stay on topic.
The topic is about shelters. The topic is about the motion on item 24. Fuck you, O'Farrell, and your fucking apprehension of people being incarcerated. You haven't done a goddamn thing.
Okay, let's give him his 1 minute.
So my first amendment is this. Tear down ICE, Trump. Remove it from the state of California and let these rich white motherfuckers deal with their problems. Take ICE away and let these white motherfuckers learn what it's like to do a job that they can't do. Hundreds of millions of dollars thrown away for housing. Discriminatory action needs to be taken, and the action of taking away these white niggers' income is one. They're the highest paid stupid motherfuckers who can't come up with ideas to fix the housing situation, let alone temporarily put homeless people in housing. There's really a problem in Los Angeles. It's called fuck you, Herman Jason Wesson. You didn't do a good job having Wayne Spindler thrown in jail. So on behalf of the racist Nazism, fuck you.
Thank you. Okay, let's get Mr. John Walsh. Mr. Walsh, you have item 1, and you have items 23 and 24, and then your general public comment. And you can speak to special 1. But Mr. Walsh, please come forward.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org or J. Walsh Confidential, tweeting at Hollywood Dems, building and safety, nuisance abatement, no problems there. And then we go to number 23. And this is pickup locations and extension of the city's winter shelter program to include Council District number 7. People are freezing to death in this city, and all you're interested in is Hope of the Valley, city winter shelter. Number 24. Okay. You have, now correct me if I'm wrong, remember, anytime I say something wrong, you stop at my ass, you stop my ass. You have $1,450,000 worth of unpaid convictions for information leading to the arrest and conviction. That's $1,450,000. No one gives a syphilitic rat's ass about it because of those percentages, 90% of the victims, 90% are minorities. And you don't give a syphilitic rat's ass about minorities. But let a white person get beaten up or roughed up, and the cops are told, catch that motherfucker, catch that motherfucker. So we have absolutely, you just keep adding rewards, $50,000 here, $50,000 there. I ask those people who watch it, have you ever seen somebody come up here and thank you people for the reward? No, because that's a death sentence. The minute the gang see your face and they find out that you got a reward, you'll be murdered. That's the way it runs. Because, in fact, they all have their head down, covering their face. Because all of them know Mr. Price is sleeping, Mr. Koretz is reading, Mr. Rue is chanting. I'm telling you, Mr. Buscaino is looking at his crotch, and Mr. Harris Dawson is playing with
topic. Since you don't want to show their picture, I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you stay on what the topic, they're doing. Mr. Walsh. I like to do my 1 minute.
Let's give him his 1 minute for general.
Let me tell you right now. I hear people say, "I don't read the Times." Well, the Times reads you, and the Times pays attention to you,
and the Times makes sure that you get crushed. That's what the Times does to you. And in fact, as it stands right now, the LA Times, it used to be owned by a family, the Chandler family. Then it was owned by a string of corporations out of Chicago. Now it's owned by one man. And you haven't seen any stories about him. Because why? Because his skin is yellow. And Mr. Rue doesn't give a shit about him, because Mr. Rue thinks his skin is white. And I'm telling you right now that the Times is run now by an Asian, one man, Patrick Ching-Shung. You go look it up, and you will find out that I'm right. If I'm wrong, say, and they're all rushing to suck his cock.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Thank you. Okay, let's bring up Mr. Spindler. Mr. Spindler, you have item 1, and you have item 23, 24. You can speak on special 1, and you have your general public comment.
Yes, go ahead. Okay, so we get to this fucking agenda. Let's see what we have here today. Let's see. Compliance with what? Look at Marchese. He can't comply. He's asleep. Look at the lean in your district. Look at that horrible.
Stay on the subject.
Look at the $4,000 lien on 108th Street. How dare you? This is the problem. The 8th District ran by a skinhead making liens for $4,000. Why do we have skinheads making liens for $4,000?
No, Mr. Spindler, stay on the subject.
Yes. No, I told you what to do in this situation. Oh, okay. Fucking 1, fucking N, fucking lien in CD fucking 9, known as the Bigamy's District. For
Mr.
a 900...
Mr. Spindler, stay on the subject.
So, you know, you're not going to let me talk. All right, let's talk about Special 1, assholes. So, Rule 23, you have to know about the incident to use Rule 23 when? After the agenda's been posted. You knew about it before the agenda was posted. Therefore, under the California Supreme Court decisions, your action today on Special 1 is what, Madam City Attorney? Ultra vires. That means it's void ab initio. So the lawyers are going to sue you for a Fifth Amendment taking of their building permit, dumb ass. And you know, it's sponsored by this fat pig, Paul Peppa Pig
Stay on the
Koretz.
subject.
He unilaterally is using Rule 23 and Section 245 of the Charter to make an illegal act. You cannot act this way because it contravenes your city's charter and it violates state law. But you know what you're going to do? You're going to vote for it anyway. And that means that every one of you that votes for it is personally liable to the developer for punitive damages and costs because you don't have immunity under state law when you exceed your jurisdiction. See, I'm one of these people. I don't complain. When you do a good job, I say so. But when you fuck up this bad, I had to drive all the way down here today to tell you you're doing what Mr. Rue did last year in that confidential memorandum that wound up in the trash and into my puppet's hand. All right.
Let's go to general public comment.
So let's go. So we found out people on this council are doing other things with their computers. They're not studying. You're supposed to listen to the general comment. Instead, you're on your laptops and computers on websites like Armenian porn stars, for example. What is this all about? What is all of this bullshit about? Look at these people like Price. They're ignoring you. And what is so busy that they can't fucking watch what's going on for your lousy minute? The skinhead over here puts earphones on, playing ghetto rap because he doesn't want to hear what you have to say. Councilman Price is living in his district. He doesn't want to listen to that. Nuri won't sponsor a motion to have the Weezer kicked off this council for sexual harassment. She's an enabler. Finally, fuck you.
Your time is up. Thank you. Leah Renee? You have special 1 and item 1, and then your general public comment.
Hi, Special 1A, which is a building and safety regarding permit number 16030-1000-08055. And it's about an error and abuse over at the building and safety. I want you to know it's a violation of law. You're committing a pattern of criminal activity, and President Herb Wesson, I need you to step in immediately because I brought it to your attention on multiple occasions. It's not an error and abuse if it's a violation of law. If it's a violation of law, it's a crime. And what it looks like is you're trying to break the Coastal Act, you're trying to break city laws from the inside by violating the law and calling it an error and abuse, which favors the builder because your record is false by the time it gets to the judge and to the court. You're lying to the court, which is false and fraud on the courts. Okay, 2. Building and safety appeals. I want you to know that you have another 15 or 20 building and safety appeals or in orders to comply, which are a lot of them are small. You know, they're trash in their front yard or a car or, you know, something small. However, in Councilman Bonin's district, I would like the people to know that you have a discriminatory practice where Councilmember Bonin has been aiding and abetting and co-conspirating with Scott McPherson to evade compliance with state law and the California Code of Regulations. All right, now my public comment, please.
Give her 1 minute for public comment.
I'm dropping off to you, Councilmember President Herb Wesson, a complaint regarding Debbie Lawrence, city planners, and the city attorney. Each of you, council members, have a mandatory duty to comply with the law and the state and U.S. Constitution. However, there's a pattern of criminal activity occurring in the LA City Planning Department where they destroy public records, they alter public records, and when I tried to film it so I could bring you a copy of what they were doing, you called the police on me instead. And when the police showed up, I asked them if they would take a report so I could show them they could be a witness, and they said no, and they were escorting me out for trespassing. It's all laid out right here, and you need to stop and provide my public hearing so I'm not subjected to this 1-minute silence treatment, and stop the criminal activity occurring in the coastal belt.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Members, let's vote on item 1. So let's on item 1, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Ms. Rodriguez, did you want to speak on 23, I think it is?
Thank you, Mr. President. Item 23, colleagues, is a motion that authorizes the 30-day extension to operate the Pacoima Winter Shelter. This shelter is the only shelter currently available for, in the entire San Fernando Valley. But more importantly, I wanted to take a moment to also kind of introduce to you some of the measures that were taken in order to make sure that this shelter operated in such a way that it minimized many of the community impacts from its previous operation. There was a lot of resistance to having this shelter operate in the community, and I know this is an issue that many of us struggle with oftentimes, but it was through the development of what I've dubbed the Good Neighbor Policy that we have implemented a series of operating protocols that I think have not only led to the successful operation of this facility, but it has actually also led to reducing a lot of the sanitation issues that are oftentimes accompanying some of the operations here at shelters that we've experienced in our communities. And I look forward to sharing more of the measurable impacts that I think are going to be reflective of how we can go forward in providing the scale that we need to of these shelters throughout the city, because I know there are oftentimes we are met with a lot of resistance to provide these types of facilities in these neighborhoods. But I am very proud of the success and the impact, the positive impact that it has had in the community of Pacoima. And I look forward to sharing with you more some of the successes. But as an extension of this very important facility, I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Let's prepare to vote on that item, please. Madam Clerk, open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, let's go to item 24. On that item, if we could open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
And we should recess the regular. I thought we already did item 1. Okay, well, we can do special 1. Let's, we've already voted on this finding, so let's actually vote on it. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
So now let's recess the regular, go into the special, and let's prepare to vote on item.
Mr. President, may I call the roll, please?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Mr. Herman, stop disrupting the meeting, okay?
Blumenfeld, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Harris Dawson, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rodriguez, Rue, Wesson. 12 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Now that brings us to item 25. Let's prepare to vote on item 25. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Let's adjourn the, Mr. Harris Dawson.
Urgent forthwith on item number 25.
Okay, let's vote on urgent forthwith. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now let's adjourn the special, return to the regular. That leaves us where or brings us where, Madam Clerk?
That brings council to, are there any more public comments, sir?
No, we've closed public, or we're closing that.
Okay. That brings council to, for motions for posting and referral, sir?
Okay, they're posted, they're referred. Announcements, members, announcements. Seeing no announcements, if all would please rise for adjourning motions. If all would please rise for adjourning motions. If we could please be quiet at this time. Mr. Koretz?
Yes, I'd like to ask first that Mr. Herman stop snorting in the background along with Mr. Spindler. I'd like to adjourn in memory of Toby Spiegel, who passed away last month at the age of 99 and a half years old. She was the mother of a dear friend of mine, Bill Spiegel, who I went to UCLA with and who also helped me run a campaign during the first West Hollywood cityhood election in 1984. Toby was a heroic woman in many ways. She raised her son, Bill and Joe, on her own and helped to educate thousands of children as a New York City school teacher. But her notable unsung moment of heroism came on July 28, 1945, when she was 27 and worked at the 78th floor of the Empire State Building. On that morning, the building was shrouded in fog, and around 10 a.m., a B-25 bomber crashed into the building, killing 14 people, starting a massive fire, and rendering the elevators unusable. During the evacuation, Toby saw another woman who was unable to walk, and she carried her down the dozens of flights of stairs to safety, something her family was always very proud of. She was a true feminist. She was resourceful and tenacious, and she also had a wonderful sense of humor, and her family reminisced that it was a joy to spend time with Toby, who loved to talk about politics and current events. And Bill and his wife, Ellen, moved to the Las Vegas area a number of years ago, Actually, Ellen is now a state assembly member in Nevada from the area, and Toby loved to visit her family in Las Vegas. She was a wonderful woman, and she will be missed.
Thank you. I'm continuing to look to my right side. I do not see any more adjourning motions on the right. I'm now looking towards the left. I don't see any on the left. Members, this meeting is adjourned.